Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining Archangel Alts, trading with you live without a net. And just over here looking at Steam, kind of in a Steam-inspired state of mind right now. We've earned some profits off of Steam over time, and just kind of delving deeper. My first experience with Steam was just doing some searches on some things crypto-related, and things like Medium and Steemit came up in search results, people that were blogging about different things. And STEEMIT just came up there, and doing some deeper research realized, that it was a blockchain project, and I thought that was pretty cool. Just want to make sure that this screen is doing what I expected it to. So it is actually 4:30 a.m. March 19th, 2019 here Eastern Standard Time, and I was working to get, I'm streaming through OBS on a desktop, and so some things are made to work as apps and not emulate very well. Hold on just one second. A little bit of water does the body good. So I have a really neat friend on Twitter. Some people you just follow and they follow, and you like and they like, and you reply and they reply, and you comment and they comment. Twitter is this never-ending thing of things. But I'm going to share this to my screen. Really neat friend, Nathan. We were trying to get a live Periscope thing going. And so anyway, this is him on Twitter, and I'm going to go to our home on Twitter now and do a little bit of typing here. Kind of a different thing going on today. For go to my tweets. Thank you. Okay, cool. So yep, it's got that accurately set up, and I'm actually going to put out a tweet there saying streaming live, giving a shout out to my friend Nathan, who was generous enough to try to broadcast our conversation on Periscope. You are awesome. The tech glitch was on me. Such a cool Steam leader. Alright, so tweeted that. And then the next thing that I'm going to try to do, I'll set the screen over here just in case I mess things up. It's always a possibility. It surely is. So this is Gordon Freeman, the free man leading people from the darkness into the light through the crypto revolution. Trying to help decentralize you from centralized things that you don't want to have be centralized. Something along those lines. So I'm going to go over here to Periscope in the background and see what the stream is doing from there. It looks like... Okay, it should be streaming well there. I was working on YouTube, and there seems like we're good to go. So I'm going to see if I can watch it and then mute or pause, and then might be able to offer a chat thing. Let's see. Still making my way around this stuff. It's all new to me. So connecting live crypto. Good. It's working there. It'd actually be smart if they had a pause for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to keep up on the chats there. There is this universal chat feature thing going on that's supposed to work as well. In fact, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Maybe we'll possibly do this without creating an anomaly. Don't know if this will actually create an anomaly. It'll be kind of fun to see this within this, within this, within this. So I'm on Periscope here, and let me make sure that the sound is still working right. Yep, sound's working right. So this is Gordon Freeman with Archangel Alts, and we are here streaming on several different things. And the stream will probably take a little bit of time to catch up. But just, you know, in the midst of our doing the day trading, live day trading with you, which will eventually be more of a paid membership thing. We always want to keep a lot of value in what we're doing for free. We've gone through our soft launch, and we're about to kind of do the next step in things. So I'm hoping that the shout out thing that it does works correctly. Oh, hi there, Andrew. Thank you for joining. Very cool. So it's kind of funny how you think of, like, I'm going to show how this is streaming over here. I like to check the different status of things. Here we go. So here is our Archangel Alts website. We've updated it, so there's now a new tab for registering to our webinar. We're going to be talking about a lot of the things that I like to talk about, but we're looking to kind of build a community. And our community is about supporting your community too. So if it's something that we can understand and you know, idealism in the best sense of the word, you know, part of what I want to use this channel for is, you know, instead of shining the light on ourselves, shining the light on other people that are doing cool stuff. So you can see by the end of this presentation, you'll accomplish the following: what is cryptocurrency and why you should care? How to get started with crypto, fundamentals on trading crypto, major pitfalls to avoid, how it can help you on your journey, an unprecedented opportunity revealed, the EGC with free bonus materials for those who stay to the end. Part of what I'm excited about that aspect of things is that we can talk to you. You know, can cover chat and answer any questions that people have. You know, we'll open up the floor to whatever people are thinking. We will stay after the webinar, you know, literally until there are no questions left. So I have promised that I will stock up on coffee if that's what it takes. So anyway, you know, this, you know, yes, this is marketing stuff, and it's the kind of things that is necessary in order to try to grow. But we sincerely believe in bringing value for free. For anybody that is just casually interested in stuff, maybe the day trading aspect of things isn't at the very top of their priorities. They're just wanting to learn about the culture and news and politics and philosophy surrounding crypto, learning about blockchain, perhaps learning about mining, all the different things. You know, what I love about what I see with the STEEM community is that there's something that goes beyond, you know, hey, I can make money from day trading. Well, no, I'm not interested in the day trading. I'm more of a tech geek mining guy. I want to, you know, fire up the GPUs and start pumping out some coins. But we're all talking about mass adoption and what it takes to get there. So I'm actually going to type this in this thing that we're streaming live. So I'm going to say talking about mass adoption, and let's spell that correctly. So I do want to talk about that a little bit, and I am going to check and see what's happening on the charts, and I'll talk about the connection with those two things as I do so. So I'm going to Binance Client and setting this up over here. So, like, for instance, right now I have STEEM, the infamous STEEM, loaded in the Binance Client, and I'm going to open this up to where you can just, you know, see the full-blown chart, you know, just the movement that is taking place right now. So just watch and see what it does for a little bit. It's a little bit low in volume right now. These things ebb and flow, obviously. So my whole thing, and I just hit the microphone, I apologize. So my whole thing about mass adoption is mass adoption equals liquidity. and liquidity comes from trading on a legitimate exchange. Now, the marketplace for crypto is anywhere that somebody interacts with the blockchain. Okay, and one of the things that is so amazingly cool about what Steem and Steem powered, all this, Steem it, DTube, decentralized tube, basically the YouTube of blockchain, all these things that they're thinking about is instead of having something that's already in the real world, a t-shirt shop, a coffee joint, a restaurant, all these different things, and them saying, we accept Bitcoin here, which is good. That's a step towards mass adoption. But with the outside world looking in, they've already come there with their wallets and their credit cards or cash, and they weren't planning on using Bitcoin to pay for something. So if you're already within the ecosystem, you might be equipped with your wallet with some coin or multiple different coins wherever you go, and you might be that one customer out of 10,000 that says, hey, I saw your thing on Bitcoin, and they'd be like, yeah, Jeff is kind of the Bitcoin guy, he's not around right now. So, or, maybe it does work. Maybe they all know how to take transactions and stuff. But we're all, the blockchain is on the internet, and the internet is where most people are on their smartphones, on their tablets, on their laptops, on their desktops. Right now, because I'm trying to bring so many different things together, and I like trading from one local place, a centralized location, if you will. Yeah, so I'm going to keep an eye over here. It'd be really cool to see if anything picks up on Periscope. So, yeah, mine actually still shows the register the webinar thing, so I wonder if there's any kind of hiccup. Let me see if that's what it's doing over here. Oh, okay, well, I'm not playing that live right now. Let's see what happens if I play it live. Okay, so this is me looking at me, looking at me, looking at me, looking at me. Okay. That's kind of fun. So, yeah, everybody is on the internet. The blockchain is on the internet. The coins that people can trade or buy things with, or just buy and hold on to, or generate a value from, all these things are on the internet. And everybody's walking around with this capability. With Steem, by providing access to the blockchain via their own website, and by offering basically what I see as empowerment to people who use the blogging feature, who use the streaming feature, who want to reach out to the public about Steem related stuff. I think it is an incredibly cool thing that they're adding that value by saying, opt into our process, follow these guidelines for here's how you create content, and you'll actually get paid in Steem for putting the value of Steem to work. So that it just makes sense. There's our window within our window within our window. That's always fun. So I like the way that looks. Kind of cool. So, that is one form of liquidity. You're saying that instead of just saying we have a coin and a product and we're offering value to you, you can buy this thing with your coins of choice. What they're actually saying is that we're going to reverse that and say, marketplace, we want you to create a value out of our cryptocurrency by generating valuable content. And so if it's genuine content, it's not spammy, scammy stuff. People actually talking about their lives, or sharing what they like to do, or their hobbies, cooking, exercising, activism, whatever a person's thing is. In fact, it would make a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm going to go back over here to our Twitter and checking stuff out here. So yeah, the live feed is working. All this stuff is working. So like our friend here, Nathan, should be able to switch over there. Yeah. So eliminating crypto tourists. So there's this 777 movement gaining momentum. We want to see $7.77 STEEM. So totally makes sense. And let me switch to this real quick. And I'm going to load up something. Coin market cap. So like right here, okay, we're on coin market cap and I've loaded up Steem. And there's also, I'll just show you this. There's also Steem dollars. So, there's a lot to, that's SBD, I guess. Yeah, SBD. So Steem as a coin, so right now is worth 46 cents. And I believe what our friend Nathan is talking about with this movement is for it to be worth $1. So I'm looking at where it has been in the past. It looks to me like it may have almost been there. 777 is what we're talking. And back here, it was more valuable in Bitcoin than it was in relation to dollars. So I'm looking mostly at what the correlation is in Bitcoin, but can always see the price value for there. So is a 15x, that would be 15 times the current value. But it hit a peak back when Bitcoin was 20,000, 19,000 something and change. That had brought Steem up to $7.31. So the same now. I don't think that it would take 19,000 in Bitcoin. I think that it would have to double as far as the trading on the market. But what I love about what I see happening is that the kind of Steem empowerment thing that's going on, yeah, it also powers real applications like social apps like Steemit. My whole thing about mass adoption is that this needs to be a people's movement. It truly does. We don't want to wait for banks and governments and financial institutions and already wealthy whales, many coming from a globalist perspective. We don't want to leave mass adoption in their hands. So how does mass adoption happen? Okay, my formula for mass adoption is going to come from liquidity. Liquidity comes from showing value of a currency-related store of value of some sort, showing its value in the marketplace. So my example for the usage in the marketplace, let's say you have your favorite local grocery store just down the road, and you want to support them instead of a major chain. And so you think, I support local grocery store. And so you go there to show your support by buying your favorite jar of some food of some sort. It has a long shelf life. And so you say, oh, I love this food and I love this mom and pop chain, this small grocery store, local store. So I'm showing my support. I'm buying this thing. I buy it off the shelf. They're so very happy. And you take it home and you put it on the shelf and say, oh, I value this so much. I'm going to hold it forever. And so you showed your support. You showed your value. They made a profit. But then they reordered that item hoping that you'd come back after you ate it and liked it. They figure since you're so enthusiastic that you're going to continue to show your support. The problem, though, is that you don't go back because you value it so much that you just keep holding it. So eventually, let's say that because of scarcity, unfortunately, the store goes out of business because everybody had the same mentality, or they're struggling. So those things of value, they become more value because they're scarce because they can't afford to order them anymore. So on the backside of mass adoption, something will grow. The analogy being for cryptocurrency and successful projects. But do we want it to be governments and bank institutions and whales and large corporations that grow that for us, especially from the government side, issuing stable coins. So we're going to have that same relationship between banks and governments issuing stable coins the same way that they do the current version of currency. So instead of saying, we're going to try to cut you off from the ability to trade or to earn or to store value, we're just going to, if you can't beat them, join them. So we're going to come in and say, okay, well, you can use our coin. And so you have centralization in this new, completely new class altogether. And the same problem occurs. So it must be a people's movement. And a people's movement means, if it is your community that you are part of in STEAM, then do it like it's the most important thing that you do. Bring that value to it. And that should increase the value of STEAM. Now, it's okay for, let's just say that, people were doing business and their country is the US, so they're operating in dollars, but they're doing business with somebody where it requires an exchange. Showing a value in dollars is not the problem, and showing the value in a euro is not the problem. Showing the value in Deutschmarks or any other currency is not the issue. The issue is, power and greed. And so sometimes people equate anything that resembles the stock market, like right here, I'm looking at STEAM on the Binance Exchange. They have handled things really well themselves. In fact, they're actually, a lot of people are making the choice to do this, and they're actually centered out of Malta in order to not worry with the stability of governments that are very anti-freedom. I'm not going to go into many details there. But, their enterprise, they earn 0.2% from a buy and a sell. And so if people are buying and selling STEAM, they're, partly helping Binance keep their doors open and earn a living. And they're, in turn, providing a service, giving privacy and security to people like ourselves who are trading on the Binance Exchange. An example of something a little more scammy being like Cryptopia, which is still dealing with their hack issue. Yes, it could happen to anybody, but it happened to them. And they didn't have their walls up to the extent that they should have. Lord help us, we pray that nothing like that ever happens with Binance. They had an intrusion to their system through their help desk, their support, their Zendesk, I believe, but never to the actual exchange as far as I'm aware. In fact, when people do steal coins from other places, they usually come here to trade them. So, and they're able to lock them down. And they're, CZ himself has commented on that, saying it's like, I don't know why people bring them here. We're just going to keep them from being able to use it. They come here because of the liquidity, folks. So the basic economics of this, whatever it is that you are behind, whatever project you believe in, or several, be a leader in whatever that empowerment movement is. You don't have to necessarily be against, the bad things in order to be for a good thing. Does that make sense? You don't have to make your cause say, oh, look at the evil governments, look at the evil institutions, look at the evil countries, the oppression, the imperialism, the consumerism, the isms, the capitalisms, etc. You don't have to be, down with this or that. You can be up with your thing. Be up with the, fitness challenges. Such a cool guy. Really nice guy. Be pro supporting other people. Be pro the people that are thinking. They're being leaders in their sectors. So I'm reading this. People are adopting STEAM blockchain not because it's decentralized. They're adopting it because it's censorship free and plus 777 other reasons. Love it. And so I'm actually rather like this right here, but I think I can like it through that. I don't know. Sharing your awesome comments live right now, brother. Really, really neat guy. Okay. Gonna check out Periscope again. So yeah, talking about mass adoption. In fact, this, I have it that we're doing live day trading and market analysis, but there's not really much more important aspects of market analysis than understanding the whole purpose behind it. So mass adoption comes from liquidity. Liquidity comes from trading in the marketplace, trading through a safe, legitimate exchange. We use Binance. Hopefully they will always stand up to their reputation. I'm not them, so I can't stand behind them until we build our own blockchain-based this, that, everything. I can only speak to my experience so far. So anybody that's willing to join us here in Periscope, that's awesome. I'm going to also check and see if our chat is doing anything over here. Probably not tonight. That's okay. Not a problem. Just really enjoying this thing. And we're set up on our trading over here as well. And I got Steam loaded up just to see what it looks like here. We actually have some very high older positions that we're going to wait to hold on to until it reaches a certain point. So coming back over here, just kind of hanging out here with the brain rolling, steam-powered brain. So liquidity means that it's easy to buy and sell. It's easy to use. And what we see in technical terms in trading on the exchange is when liquidity kicks up, you have more buying and selling happening, and as it increases in speed, everything increases in value. As everything is increasing in value, it becomes easier to buy and sell. And so you can actually kind of earn your way upwards by putting in positions that are beneficial to the exchange, beneficial to the coins that are being traded, and beneficial to you because you're using them. And so you can actually earn a profit. So I'm actually going to pull this in and show what Bitcoin is currently doing. And Raven, boy, did it have a good day today. So kind of an interesting project there. So Bitcoin is doing its drop in volume, and this is Bitcoin's liquidity. And so it's being propped up by people with probably a whole different category of money than any of us have, at least yet. We'll get in that category soon by doing the process that we're working. So our thing as far as teaching people how to trade and how to do so effectively so they don't lose their money, they don't get pulled into scams, they don't get stuck in low positions. At least, hodls are reduced where they are not desired. But it teaches you to look at the relationship of Bitcoin's volume to the other coins, because right now Bitcoin is still, I believe, about 52% of the market. And most things, even if they are traded against fiat or a stable coin, Bitcoin is kind of locking in the value between that stable coin and everything else anyway. So you can think that you're saying, well, I'm going to trade Ethereum instead of Bitcoin, or I'm going to trade Litecoin instead of Bitcoin. You might do that, but those are kind of locked into Bitcoin too. So, it's just something to consider. So when we see these trends, this is over a couple days. Let's see. Yeah, this was about 10 days. So it's still looking good. It might be going a little bit sideways through here. We'll see. But I like to look at these in conjunction with the shape of Bitcoin. You can see it's very, very similar. So you understand that Bitcoin brings these things up and down, right? Okay. So let's say that we're looking for Steem to go about 15x where it is right now. So some of the issues that we've had, this is almost guaranteed to be where the Bitcoin Cash hard fork took place, and yes, indeed it is. Okay, you see how just centralization within the coin ecosystem can have a harmful effect. And this to me is an issue of work your stuff out. Don't let greed and power ruin a good thing for what could be a huge revolution for the entire world. I really care about the people that see the value in this the most, in third world countries, in struggling economies, people that deserve better from their governments, better service, better looking out for people, looking out for families. Government issuing services, that's a whole separate topic, but it just seems like whenever power rises to the top, it becomes corrupt. So, that's where the true value in decentralization is in don't be corrupt. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line of where the value would come from that. So other than that, breaking the bondage of people's the negative connotations of capitalism. There can be greed and power in the worst forms there. Yes, it's absolutely true. But in the idealist side of there being a free society side to things, we put in at 184. We're going to look for when it comes up to 186. So you can see other people have similar ideas of what's going to happen there. We've been in IOST when it was at 197 to 199. We were in there when it was up in the 200 somewhere, and we sold that. So I'm just holding this one position. Just decided to buy some there. Sold a lot of fuel for profit, and we have one position that was higher at 339. So doing well, been a little bit slow because obviously we're working hard to stay on target with our soft launch. And so we're doing like phase number 2. Phase number 2 coming in where so excited to share the webinar thing that we're going to be doing. And I go over here. Not really anything going on over here, is there? Okay, that's all right. It's okay. It's all right. So here's our website. And for the EGC webinar registration, I'm just very excited. We're going to be sharing a lot of information about what we do, what crypto is, what blockchain is. There are a lot of people that still just don't know anything about any of this stuff. So we share introducing the EGC. What is the greatest force in the universe? Einstein said it was compound interest. And he was right. That is until his observation was overturned by exponential growth curve, or EGC, powered now by crypto. Register for the webinar. See the EGC in action. So you just click here, and you can see the countdown is going to be 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, March 19th, 2019. It's a Tuesday. It is tonight. So very, very cool. So as you heard, we mentioned the exponential growth curve. And, here's where I look at, showing people not through greed and not through the centralization of power, but empowering individuals to learn how to create value in their ownership of cryptocurrency. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having one store of value or another that you believe in the most. But what we believe in is helping you to find accuracy and learning tools that you can use in order for day trading to become a way that, if you have a job and you have extra income that you're putting into a retirement plan or put your kids through college plan, whatever the case may be, the banks and the lending institutions, the brokerages, they're going to recommend that you let it sit for 15 to 30 years. And that will grow, very large over time. So let's just pretend that that's what we're doing. Let's say that you've got $10,000 out of everything that you make that you're going to try to grow for 30 years. Okay. So let's just be really generous and say 0.5%. And we'll say 1 represents a year. So you will earn $50 your first year, and that's not going to help you to retire, is it? After 10 years, that would get you about 511. So after 30 years, okay, let me take it back so you can understand this. $50 is 0.5% of 10,000. And I mean, I'm definitely playing this down low. They probably, by the end of it, it could be as much as several percents. It used to be, you could even have 8 to 12. That just isn't really realistic anymore. So it would only be $50 the first time. So you would think that it would be 100 after 2 years, but you've earned an extra 25 cents. So because we're rolling this in to every single year's earnings, we're adding that 25 cents has grown to 75 cents, and the other part has grown, the $50 has grown to 150. So you're earning on top of that 75 cents when you go into your years 4 and 5. So now instead of just $2.50, you've actually earned an extra $2.51 from your exponential growth. So let's just say after 30 years, you're now at 11,614. So whoop-dee-doo. But let's say you're earning 2%, 3%, 4%, even 5% over 30 years. Okay, well, I mean, nobody could complain about turning $10,000 into $43,000 as long as you're healthy 30 years later. So it's one of those things that you really want to encourage somebody, if that's something they want to do as a safety net when they're kids, teach your 18-year-old to do that. And when they're in their adulthood, they get closer and closer to, if they can keep adding to this, let's say, by the time you're 78, if you start when you were 18 years old, you could have 180,000 if you started with 10. So, yeah, it's pretty tough to say, like, how far out can somebody put this earning process to where if they save it their entire lives, they can go from 50,000 to 200,000, let's say. Okay, let's say that you have like one of the best spread mutual funds and you got somebody really looking out for you. You could possibly, before the tax penalty, because your earnings will go into some kind of loop at some point. And there's a cap on how much you can save for some of these things. But you could potentially, in 30 years, turn your $55,000, or let's say your $60,000 into $1 million. Fantastic, right? Okay. So let's say that you're looking at a $10,000 trade size at 0.5%, and you do one trade. Once again, there's our $50. First of all, that's awesome. I mean, try putting $10,000 in the bank and then put it into your savings where it has an interest earning thing, and ask them, if I put $10,000 into my savings right now, how much could I earn? How long would it take me to earn $50 off of my $10,000 that I just gave you to trade without giving me any of the percentage that you earn? Because that's what they're doing when you open up an account. Unfortunately, they're making your money available to their own circulation to earn off of and to lend to others, etc. So after 10 trades, let's say, you would have times 0.5% equals that times 10 equals 500. So after 10 trades of $10,000, you would have $500, except with exponential growth, rolling each of those 50s in as you continue to trade, you have an extra $11.40. I mean, seriously, just $11.40 from doing anything 10 times over should tell you how much better that is than just letting it sit at a very small percentage in a bank account, right? So then what if we were to do that times 100? 100 trades, which we've done twice that since we did our soft launch in February. And if you are following along with every single one of those moves that we show you, you could be in exactly the same place. I am not your financial advisor. I do not have a certified professional champion in cryptocurrencies plaque on the wall. There are no actual experts in crypto, only people trying to find their own way, guess towards the future, make their own solutions. There are a lot of smart people in the sector, but nobody really can consider themselves an expert at this. But I do find it entertaining to learn how to make money, and money can be a means of empowerment if you check yourself and do so following wisdom and not following greed. So after 100 trades, doing this one after another, doing the same thing 10,000 over and over, we would be at $5,000 profit. So we would add that to our 10. I know the math is probably pretty obvious, but $15,000. And yet, if we keep rolling the extra rollover from all those profits every single time we make something, our second trade, for instance, would be 10,050. Our next trade would be 10,100 plus the profits off of 50 and 50. So as this grows, look at that. After 100 trades, what would have been $15,000 is actually $16,466. So you have earned, instead of $5,000, $6,400 in value. So now, obviously, if you're thinking there must be a catch, there's not a catch. It's just a very simplified process. We're teaching the rule of fifths and the principle of thirds. The rule of fifths deals with your circulation and how to handle the size of your trades. You would have to already have a substantial investment for your trade size to be $10,000. Okay, so like even if you were doing a $20 trade to start with, I would recommend through my process that you have $2,500 to be able to invest. You're going to continue to circulate that $2,500 until your earning continues to grow and continues to grow. And after 1,000 trades, if you're starting at the absolute smallest trade size of $20, and you grow that, it would be more than 10x after 1,000 of that sized trades. So you got to think that at that point in time, you're essentially able to do your next 1,000 at 2,000 and starting larger. Well, I mean, that's more than 10x of 2,000. And we're looking at this in terms of one trade at a time. The easiest way to really think of this is if you're trying to get in about 4 trades at 0.5% or thereabouts. And so you look at 2%, this would basically be an interval. Well, just for the sake of imagining, let's say that you had a $1,000 trade. You're trying to do that 4 times a day, and you do that for 1 year. Okay, is there anybody that would feel bad about earning, $1.3 million off of their $1,000? I don't think that would be the case. So it could take you 2 years to do the same thing. You might move more at this pace. And so that's what I want you to see, the exponential growth. Literally, the difference between doing 1% and doing 2% was 37,000 and 1.3 million. Doing exactly the same thing. It depends on how hard you're willing to work and how tough the market is. That's pretty much all there is to this stuff. So the other aspect of exponential growth is that as you go along, every once in a while you're going to have a hold. So you need to have enough money to circulate to where your trade sizes can sometimes sit while you're doing other trades, so you don't slow down. The other option is that you do really only have 1 or 2 trades worth, and you're patient. You're willing to wait for good positions to hold. And in that case, that's obviously, it's a choice. It's a way that you can go about doing this. If that is the way that you do this, then, the reasoning behind it and the idea behind it is that you're willing to wait, and that we are going to show you how to choose effectively things that even if they do sit, they have a very high probability that they will clear. The only thing that really is our enemy is if we choose something that is just plain, a bad coin in a bad position. So that's another thing that our friend Nathan, we were talking about with STEEM and related projects, is that I think that there's a lot of frustration with people with coins that are just meaningless. Coins that they do not see them as having a perceived value. They're not doing anything fancy or healthy. So I think that on some level we have to have some level of acceptance to understand that not every project is going to be for us, and not every project for other people is going to be something that we would agree with, and vice versa. But there are coins that are like literally just total, junk ICOs. They are launching literally because there's a craze about coins, and that they can just get listed on something like Cryptopia or other, that coin will get pumped and they'll make a lot of money, and then they can take off with that. XMRG, BitConnect, these are examples of things that have not been good projects. Mt. Gox, example of exchanges that have not been good projects. They were not good stewards, nor were they using wisdom. They were using evil and greed, in my opinion. I don't think it was just carelessness. I think it was greed. So, you can't necessarily make every move on the market based on the idealism of, do I believe in this coin? Can I get behind it? I do believe in helping to show people how to earn a living or earn their future in this unprecedented time. I think that this is one of those things where you take advantage of an opportunity, because something like this so very rarely comes around in history. This is history in the making. what we're a part of. So I invite you to be a part of that as well. So here we are, Archangel Alts. This is Gordon Freeman, the free man leading you from the darkness into the light, to be empowered to learn how to trade crypto and work towards a future where you can earn. I'm not a financial advisor, but I like to give advice, and I find it entertaining to learn how to make money. So, greed, bad; wisdom, good. Being a good steward of money, being cautious, gambling, bad, earning based on good information, good. So I noticed one person was making a comment about, they said something about Archangel, and they were saying, whether, archangels would embrace crypto. And so, I looked at it in terms of, the Bible teaches us, I am a person of faith, and I do believe in the word. And we are taught that, not that money is evil, but that the love of money is evil. And so, by doing things effectively through wisdom and not greed, is the smart, slow, and steady wins the course kind of way to go. So we're looking at our position in IOST, and we went in at 184, looking to earn at 186. And it's like a lot of people are expecting much higher than that. We're just looking to get in, somewhere even in this range will be fine. So looking at this drop right here, and IOST typically is able to do in the 195-ish range, even when it's weak. So, see, it was 178 back on 224. It was around 186-ish. Yeah, let's say 186 on 311. Spiked easily at 203, at about 198. 213, 226. So, we're kind of watching trends here. There's not a whole lot that it's got to do. I may actually spread that across a couple of positions. We're not doing extremely heavy-duty trading right now, not that I don't want to, but kind of brain-locked with all of the different stuff we're trying to keep up with. So yeah, it does not take a lot to change that liquidity right now. So liquidity. So I was given my example of you're wanting to support the local mom and pop grocery store, and what they would like is to see you, come back week after week, buy your favorite jar of, produce from them, and they will replenish it for you. They'll get a profit every time you come by, and everybody's happy. You've got your product. You've lent your support for them. They're happy to see you every week, and vice versa. So sometimes the idea of holding to show one support, unfortunately, you're only showing your support once, and so those people that are in the line for transaction fees and earning based on content or use or a myriad of different things, the coin actually needs liquidity. It needs to be on the market and to be moving on the market. Some people have the idea that day trading, and I mean, it really is a matter of, are you trading correctly? Are you trading effectively? People have the idea that it decreases the value of something because people are just trying to sell it to make a profit. Well, that can actually be the case with shorting stocks, or shorting crypto in this case, where you are betting on something going down, and so basically you buy or borrow against a position, and you pay a small fee, and that position has to close at a certain amount lower. So you buy it and you immediately sell it off, and then you're waiting for it to go down and to reap the benefits of the profit from the margin of the interest from low to high. And so you're betting on something not succeeding. Well, if too many people do that, then the outlook is actually going to affect the outcome. Things will actually lose value if everybody's expectations are that it'll do so. It is part of the human experience. I mean, it just certainly is. So look at this. Once again, our two birds of a feather flocking together for real. So check that out. Phoenix is on the rise again. We do not have any Phoenix. We've cleared our Phoenix over here, but I can go to our browser. See, we're on exponential growth there. Love the exponential growth thing. So here we are over here. I'm going to switch over to Phoenix, and I know that we have some pretty high positions there. They're early, and we're intentionally setting them to where we can wait for them to clear for a good profit. So yeah, 444 would be the next one in line. My goodness, look at that. So, this is that moment where a person resists the urge to go in because of FOMO, or fear of missing out. It is so tempting to go in when you see this all happening. So I'm actually going to load up Raven too. It's had a really amazing growth day. And there are a lot of people that are, they're actual, true believers in these projects, not just trading because they see stuff getting pumped. So it's kind of interesting to watch. So this cleared, gosh, a pretty big jump. Let's see, 830 to 860, so 840. Yeah, that's many numerous of percentages. It's up to 1900 BTC 24-hour volume. The volume matters. Volume is where you get your liquidity. That's the amount of buying and selling that's taking place. And I'm going to check our World O Twitter. Una más. So cool. I don't know how. I'm getting a little bit confused still on the right things to click to be able to see the whole thing. Cool. Amen, brother. Awesome. So, yep, everything's looking good there. Periscope, how you guys doing? Cool. So, let's see. Maybe I can follow them if they have a thing too. Not sure. Seems to be kind of hung up there. And go. Okay. So, yeah, back over here looking at Quoth the Raven Nevermore. So that'll probably continue to come down a little bit. I'm curious how fast Phoenix is rising over here. It is still going. My goodness, that's amazing. So guys, I think that I'm going to wind this down now. I think that you understood what I was saying as far as mass adoption comes from liquidity. We really are genuinely interested in helping to lead the way for the crypto revolution. We're not some, big thing yet. We're hoping that we'll grow big just by helping to show people how to generate value out of the things that they're doing in this crypto climate. And, the mass adoption, waiting for the huge buzzword of blockchain stuff where it gets cheaper and cheaper for more people to do scammy, spammy type stuff. And, just hop on the ERC20 train and just make, lousy projects. That doesn't necessarily mean that all of them will be. Some of them are going to be really good ideas. But they have to be held up to a standard, and that means that it's going to lead to more and more regulation. Oh, I don't like that, because things are self-managing extremely well. Don't you think that it's very rare that the hacks are happening? Don't you think it's very rare that the problems of blockchain are coming into the picture. I personally think it's very rare. Amazingly so. So, as long as Binance is serious about people not playing them for fools, let them regulate their own policies. Let them handle making sure that people like me are people like me, not people trying to scam other people. So, just in one last message, again, I do invite you, please come join us. The link for the webinar should be in the announcement where this is streaming. Hopefully that worked correctly. That is definitely the idea. And this will load in just a second. So, as you can see, we're doing our countdown. It'll be Tuesday, March 19th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, whatever this means to you, that's what it is. So, we just ask that you please come join us. This is kind of a test launch. We'll be doing this again. I'm going to try to do a good job recording it. Hopefully, there won't be technical issues like the Periscope thing. So, I mean, as you can see, the issue here is that it doesn't allow you to see the little people faces. And so I actually tried just the easiest way over here to use developer tools and then restart using developer tools. And it's actually a weird way of doing it that way. It was on the side before. I think I have to tell it to do it differently, maybe? And when I was trying to do this with Nathan's broadcast, it actually told me, it showed me that the broadcaster was allowing for the streaming. Yeah, it didn't look this way. It's weird. It's just weird, man. Say hello to the broadcaster and other viewers. Strange. Yeah. So, yeah, trying to make this stuff do what it's not doing right. Dock to the side. That should change that. Okay. So this should give me everything that I'd be looking to see. It should give me the emulation of the keypad. So tried doing it through an app, through emulating an app, and then I had sign-in issues. That actually would have worked, but I needed to link up my sign-in to something that wasn't doing it right. So guys, thank you so much for following. Gonna take just one last look at Binance on the exchange. Very cool stuff going on there. And Storm is on the rise a little bit. Mithra is on the rise. Ren has got to go through a few more cycles before it gets there. Doc is doing the same thing. It's a bit more of a spike than a pump. The reason that this is happening, folks, is because I shall show you. Because this volume is not recovering, but the value is still high. So that value starts to pour into it. It's not because people are jumping out of Bitcoin into the altcoins, as some people think. It's the actual electronics. It's the math underneath the hood that is shifting that value as the volume goes down. So it's actually temporarily good for some of the certain range of value of different coins. And so people see that value and they start, it starts picking up. It's true, it could also be very small pumps, somebody that's just got a lot of BTC, not groups, because these things are not happening, on at the hour, on the hour, the way that the groups work. So how much Ion's got a way to go. But people out there who are, finding their way through the Bitcoin wilderness, through the crypto process, we are here for you. We want to be a part of things, be a part of leadership in the crypto revolution. Mass adoption comes from liquidity. Liquidity comes from trading in the marketplace. In this case, trading on a legitimate exchange. We like Binance. Join our webinar. We want to hear from you, talk with you, chat, etc. Very good stuff. Very cool stuff. So fun is holding at about a 13 up from where it was, 13%. That's good. We're looking for it to hit the 200s, high 180s, and start to profit there. That'll be good. EMJ engine is a very big deal. in the game asset management side of things, and it has been showing a lot of spikes. My main advice there is just to be very careful and watch the volume. It's come down from 8,000 BTC, which is huge, down to 5,700, which is almost in Ethereum range. So again, it's pretty huge for something that's not Ethereum. So guys, if you're on Twitter, hashtag CryptoLouderMegaphone. Help us with the hashtag mass adoption. Hashtag STEEM. All these different things, these projects matter. This time in history matters. Have a big picture perspective on things. It will serve all of us well. Get in touch. Stay in touch with us. We care about you. We care about being a part of a community. So until now, going to head off. So even though this is the end of our cryptocurrency stream, don't let it be an end to your cryptocurrency dreams. Join us live without a net. Learn how to day trade live with us. Come join our community. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless you. And for now, Archangel Alts out.